without money. So, like I said earlier, the Bible could not have possibly predicted the effect that money would have. I think the Bible, and I think God knew, that eventually money was going to be an important part of our lives. There are many, many more scriptures that talk about money than they talk about prayer. Many of them. So, what I would like to let you know is, this is part of my ministry, to inspire people to give more. So we can talk about how you're going to invest, we can talk about all these other questions, and I can provide you with answers. But the number one thing that we have to get out of the way, God has to come first. The tithe, and by the way, in Malachi, the famous passage on the tithe says that if, and this is specifically speaking to Israel, and I think we can borrow it as Christians, that if you keep back the tithe that belongs to God, you're robbing Him. The word is rob. And that word essentially means that you can't rob somebody of something that belongs to you. If it belongs to God and I'm robbing God by keeping it, that means it's not even mine. So when I don't release my tithe and pay my tithe to the church, undesignated to the church, that I'm keeping back what belongs to God. I'm technically not giving an offering until after I give my tithe, and then I give out of the 90%, then I'm really giving, because the tithe doesn't belong to me in the first place. Right? Does that make sense? So if it's God's, don't hold it back. By the way, there is a script, that part of that scripture that says that if the people in Israel, the reason that they were feeling cursed and their crops were dying, they weren't getting a good harvest because they were not keeping the covenant and they were not giving God the tithe that belonged to Him. And He says when you do release it, all of a sudden things will start looking better. In fact, it refers to the fact that He's going to curse the pests that have been eating their crops. I preached this sermon one time and I referred to this as the pest control. So if you don't want your produce, if you don't want your financial lives to be eaten by pests, put God first, and that's at least an insurance policy against pest. Right? Any questions so far? Yes.
Well, God gave us a brain, and if I have $10 and I need to feed my family, I should keep that $10 to feed my family. Shouldn't I?
Should you? Should you?
I mean, honestly, there are a lot of people who come to that place where they don't have the money to give, they don't think.
Okay.
And yet, should they give in faith, even if it means, okay, there's not going to necessarily be food for my kids? I know most of us don't live there, but a lot of us think we do.
Well, there are people that I think that do live there, perhaps. But I've even had to recommend to some people when I've done their financial planning and they really want to be better givers, and maybe at that point where they are, to get out of where they are, 10% may not be possible. It may be a faith move for them just to give $10 a week out of their income and gradually grow from there. The point is, do it first, do it as an offering to the Lord, and believe God to help you figure out how to fix it. The other thing that I want to make it very clear is that I think the tithe check should be the first check you write. First fruits. And here's the reason for that.